Jonathan, shares in the German energy companies RWE and Eon up very strongly this morning. What's the good news?
Well, the good news for them is that over the weekend, a government-appointed auditor has spent the past few months looking at the provisions they've made for their nuclear decommissioning liabilities, gave them effectively the green light and said that their methodology was sound and that the amounts that they've set aside in their balance sheets, about 30 billion euros between the two of them, are probably adequate to meet the costs of shutting down reactors and disposing of nuclear fuel. The reason that's significant is there had been a lot of press speculation and chatter that the provisions will be deemed inadequate and they'd have to raise even more money, which would be bad news for two groups that are still quite heavily indebted.
So great news then for those two companies. Should we be following the trend and jumping into the shares as well?
Well, you have to bear in mind that the shares have been appalling underperformers versus both the DAX, the German stock index, and also against other European utility groups. And that's down not only to the nuclear issue. Germany is phasing out nuclear power by 2022, much quicker than many other countries. But also because the German energy market is still structurally very challenged for operators, and that won't change as a result of this decision. So the Germans are subsidising renewable energy very, very heavily, and that is squeezing out more traditional forms of generation such as coal and gas. That means the electricity price on the wholesale markets is very, very low, and both E.ON and RWE are really suffering because of that. RWE also suffers again because it's a significant producer of coal-fired generation using very heavily polluting brown coal. The government also wants to phase that out over the next few years as well.
And how easy will it be for these companies to move themselves from this kind of very heavily polluting brown coal towards the renewable side of things, which is attracting all the subsidies?
Well, E.ON is ahead of RWE in this respect. E.ON has very, very little brown coal output, and it is also more into renewable energy. So E.ON is planning to split its operations off into a renewables and a distribution business on the one hand, and its legacy sort of coal-fired assets in another. And that split should go ahead next year. For RWE, it is more difficult. They have more debt and they have more coal is a greater proportion of their overall generating capacity than it is for E.ON.
Sounds like today's move then is a small step forward in what is still a very difficult market. Jonathan, thanks very much.